These fools, they'll never learn.
Hello everyone, I am Foo for Thought, and I consider myself a very, very lucky man. Why? Because www.filmcombatsyndicate.com have allowed me to review Twilight of the Warriors Walled In for the website. I am very, very lucky. If you do not know the website, please head over to Film Combat Syndicate. It is a central hub for all things action, whether it's martial arts action, non-martial arts action, whatever you like, it's there. There's reviews, interviews, news, all that good stuff. I am very lucky to be a contributor to the website, and I'm very lucky to be able to bring you this review today. Now, let's go ahead and jump into it. Is Twilight of the Warriors Walled In the quintessential Kung Fu classic we're all looking for? Well, yes and no. Let's get to it. All right, so what do I mean by yes and no? Well, there's a simple answer to that. Does this film have the action you are looking for? Yes, 100% yes. So why the no? Why is it not a martial arts or action classic? Personally, I think this film, which I'm going to refer to as going forward as Walled In, I could call it Twilight, but I think that will be very confusing for everyone. Walled In, it was marketed, I'm not going to say poorly, but maybe I think it slightly conned people. Walled In, the trailers were non-stop action, boom, 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 hitting us with these amazing set pieces, these amazing moves. Walled In is a crime drama. It is a drama through and through. This is, and I hate to say this because so many people want to compare films to this, but I'm going to say it because everyone's going to ask it anyway. This film is not The Raid, right? It is not The Raid. It is not even, in terms of pacing, it is not even Ip Man. This does not start and then sprinkle big action sequences every 5 minutes throughout its runtime. Not at all. This film is sandwiched by big action. At the start, there is a fairly lengthy, not too long, fairly lengthy action sequence. Then it is mostly drama for the next hour. I'm not going to lie to you, it is mostly drama. There's sprinklings of action, but they are probably less than a minute long, maybe just over a minute long throughout the film. And then I can tell you the last half an hour is non-stop, brutal, over the top, colossal, epic action. And it is a joy to watch. Now, is the film good? Yes, it is absolutely fantastic. Walled In is on my top films of 2024 list. I'm going to put it as simple as that. Is it a classic? Is it a 5-star film? No, not quite a 5-star film, in my opinion, but it is a wonderful watch. It is an incredible story that's told. And the action there is going to satiate all action fans. Don't worry about that. In that arena, they've got you covered. But I'm wondering if some people are going to go into this film and end up upset because of the marketing. So I want to get this out of the way. I just want to say it's not what you expect. It's not what I expected. It's not walls to wall. Sorry, it's not walled in to walled in. It's not wall to wall action. It tells a story. It tells an interesting story, and it tells a story where characters are the focal point. So, what's the film about? All right, it's fairly simple. There's not really much to it. The problem is, I can't tell you too much. There is a central spoiler to this film that if you know, it will ruin the film for you. So please go in as blind as possible. I am not going to spoil the film in this review. So we got Raymond Lamb, right? He is the main character of the film. Although there are a lot of characters kind of on his level, he is the central character to the film. Raymond Lamb plays a character who is an immigrant to Hong Kong. He's come in, he's considered somewhat of a vagrant, and he is looking to find a life. He is looking to essentially discover himself in Hong Kong and live a better life, live a fruitful life. And in order to do that, he seeks out Sammo Hung. Sammo Hung plays Mr. Big in this film, which of course is a very appropriate name. And he goes to Mr. Big and he asks him for a Hong Kong ID. Can a Hong Kong ID get made for him so he can essentially start living his life? Sammo Hung, Mr. Big, agrees to get him an ID. Things go wrong, and Raymond Lamb steals a bag of money from Mr. Big. Now, at the beginning, this happens right at the beginning of the film, and Sammo Hung, Mr. Big, has a wonderful sidekick who absolutely steals the show in this film, played by Philip Ng. Philip Ng is a powerhouse in this film. Every scene he's in, he steals. He is larger than life. He is a cartoon, and it is wonderful to watch him work in this film. And I'm not talking just drama-wise and character-wise. I'm talking about action-wise. Philip Ng is incredible in this film. He chases Raymond Lamb. They hop on a bus, and they have our first big action set piece. It's on a bus. It's kind of brief. It's not too long, but it gives you a taste of what you're in store for. Powerful moves, big crunching attacks. And I think I have to just add quickly that the environment in this film is almost like a gimmick. A good gimmick. When I say that, I mean a good gimmick. The environment in this film is used as a weapon. I'm going to get to that in just a second when I start talking about the action. So, Raymond Lamb tries to escape Philip Ng with his bag of money. He runs, and of course, he runs to the Kowloon Walled City. He gets into the Walled City, which Philip Ng cannot enter. Reason being, he is Sammo Hung's man, he is Mr. Big's man, and a guy called Cyclone runs the Walled City. Mr. Big does not. Cyclone, played here by Louis Koo. Louis Koo in this film is also fantastic. He plays this brooding, quiet, father-like character. He is the father of everyone in the Walled City, and he is wonderful. Some might say, oh, he's not really acting. He's just kind of quietly whispering his way through the role. There's far more nuance to it than that. He is a very deep, contemplative character. I love Louis Koo in this. I love Cyclone. He's one of my favorite characters, to be honest. So, Raymond Lamb runs into the Walled City, and from there, basically, we get, honestly, I would say a good hour in the center of the film that is about Raymond Lamb finding his place in the Walled City, building friends, building a family, and I'm not going to ruin too much, but, he finds that fruitful life he wants to find within the confines of the Walled City. Now, in doing so, we are introduced to a number of side characters. They all essentially work for Louis Koo, Cyclone, and they become Raymond Lamb's brothers of sorts. And they are a varying bunch of characters, very interesting. You may have seen on in the trailers, one of the characters wears a mask perpetually. Yep, he is one of the kind of not side characters, but lesser characters in this film, though he is very, very interesting. One of his character quirks, I guess you would say, is that he is responsible for selling the Walled City's pornography. He is in control of the pornography, which is very interesting. But it's kind of not played for laughs. It almost is, but it's kind of brushed over as more of a just a thing rather than a comedic beat. So that's quite interesting. The others, some of them are fighters. There is a guy who announces himself as the top fighter in Tiger Street. And then there is a guy who is basically Louis Koo's right-hand man. So there is a family unit that's central to the film. The plot builds around them. It builds around Louis Koo accepting Raymond Lam, Cyclone accepting Raymond Lam. And then we get an introduction of Richie Jen's character. Now, I'm not going to talk much about that because that's really where the spoiler comes in. But Richie Jen is the central cause of Sammo Hung crossing Louis Koo. Again, I'm speaking cryptically because I don't want to ruin anything, but everyone gets involved. Richie Jen has a very specific quest for himself in this film. He is looking for something in particular. Sammo Hung helps him find that thing, and Cyclone, Louis Koo, gets caught in the mix, should we say. And with him being caught in the mix, Raymond Lam and these other characters all get caught in the mix, which subsequently leads to a lot of fighting, which we love. So that's the film in a nutshell. It is directed even perfectly by Soi Cheang. It is dark, it is gritty, but in saying that, there is this like cartoony tinge to it. I know it comes from a Chinese version of a manga. Sorry, I don't know the word. I apologize. But it is very manga-like in nature. The characters are quite cartoony at times. They are larger than life, but they are also very human. They are also very dramatic. They live proper lives. But this film is like a combination of, in tone, I'm saying, not like action-wise or story-wise. It's a combination of something like SPL or Flashpoint, but it crosses kind of over with Dragon Tiger Gate. It feels like Dragon Tiger Gate at times in terms of character and the cartoony aspect of it. Now, let me just say this. It is a million times better than Dragon Tiger Gate, in my opinion. If you love that film, that's fair, but Walled In is so much better as a film. Soi Cheang also brings Kowloon Walled City to life. It is this living, breathing monolith, this huge backdrop that where the people are its lifeblood, but not just the people. There is crime, there is love, there is passion flowing through its veins. There is the day-to-day workings of these people trying to get by. There is poverty. There is Kowloon Walled City's own brand of justice. So you've got everything going on. It is a microcosm of the world, but it's dark and it's dingy and it's rough. It's very rough for these people, and it's all about everyone trying to get by and everyone trying to get by as a cohesive unit. And it's wonderful to see that Soi Cheang knew what he was doing with this film. He knew it was all about the Walled City. I will say this as a reviewer, without the Walled City, throw it out and just make this all happen in a village. It's not the same. It's not going to work the same. The Walled City is a very, very, very important part of this film. Now, let's get on to the action. That's what everyone's waiting for. Did Kenji Tanigaki make a martial arts kung fu masterpiece? I went into the film with the wrong expectations. For some bizarre reason, I thought Kenji was going to take what he did in Sakura and update it. I thought it was going to be martial shapes, like very stylized hand moves. I thought it was going to be like an updated version of classic kung fu shapes. Not at all. This is not it, man. Nothing like it. Nothing like it at all. The fights are chaotic. They are chaotic. They are rough. They are blistering. And in making the fights like that, I am the first to admit the action in this film has some questionable moments. There are shaky close-ups. There are fast edits. there are very little wide shots with perfect, crisp action happening in the middle. This isn't that film. This is about the chaos. So yes, I won't say shaky cam. I don't think there's shaky cam in this film, but there are quick edits. There are close-ups. And at times, for me, it was frustrating. Especially early on in the film, I was just like, what is this? I was not expecting this. But I grew to love it as time went by in the film. Again, I'm not slandering this. I'm not bad-mouthing this. I adore the action in this film. I will go on record saying I adore the action in this film. Now, I've said the negative stuff. Also, I will say this. I will go on record as saying this. I also believe some of the close-ups, some of the wonky editing is also, and unfortunately, this happens in a lot of films at the moment, and that is it's used to hide stunt people, which is fine. Sammo Hung can only do so much on screen. And don't get me wrong, seeing Sammo Hung fight again on screen, it's magical. It really brings out that magical feeling. It is wonderful to see him do this amazing stuff. But the man's in his 70s. Let's be honest, the man is overweight. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm overweight. It's okay. I'm just saying that some of the moves this film's asking of him, big kicks. And yes, wire work, he's not going to do himself. So sometimes they need to avoid the stunt doubles being revealed, and they kind of zoom in and they cut quickly and things like that. Again, that's a minor quibble because it happens in a lot of films, and you just need to get used to it. Until the day comes where they can perfectly face replace everyone in every single film, that's going to happen. Let's not worry about that. Let's get on to the good stuff. The good stuff is that the film has some of the most bone-crunching, I don't know what to call it. I don't even know what to call it. Powerhouse choreography. That's the word that keeps coming up in my head. Powerhouse. Like every single blow, every single hit is crunchy, is brutal, it hurts. It hurts. Like, for example, I don't know how many times in this film I actually went, oh shit, or like, oh my god, oh, when you express that. I did that a lot in this film. It is that type of film. So there's that is going for it. That is fantastic. Also, it's like Soi Cheang went to Kenji Tanigaki and said, look, the walled city is this important aspect of the film. I want you to use the walled city as a weapon. Kenji went, say less, boss. Every single fight scene, there are people being thrown through walls, people being thrown through floors, people getting bricks, mortar, pipes, everything smashed over their heads, smashed across their body, glass being shattered. This film is so environmental when it comes to the action. It feels like unique. It feels new and fresh. You've never seen environments used to this degree before, and it looks so brutal. When you see someone have their head smashed through a wall in this film, it's like you've never seen it before. It's so crunchy. It's so grim, and it's wonderful. It's an absolute joy to behold. And on top of that, there are other weapons involved as well. There's some great knife fighting in this film. I won't talk about a particular weapon that's used because it's a bit of a spoiler, but there are lots of weapons used. Again, less traditional martial arts styles, though they are in here. They are in this film. Yes, there is Tiger Claw, and yes, it does when it goes into the wall, it leaves the fingerprints in the wall. Yes, there's that. I am going to briefly talk about something that we've seen in the trailer, and that is Philip Ng's spiritual kung fu or spiritual style in this film. He calls it spiritual. I'm not just saying that. He calls it his spiritual style. What does that mean? It means if you're familiar with old school kung fu films and know about the film Invincible Armor, it means he has the invincible armor. And that is, he is impervious, he is impenetrable. His weapons cannot break his skin, blows bounce off him. He is unbeatable. You may have seen in the film, in the trailer, the oh shit moment where someone goes to hit him with a sword and he bites the sword in half. He does that all the time. Not the biting of the heart, but he does moves like that all the time, and it is wonderful. It's easily my high point of the film, seeing him just deflect all these blows and characters go, how do we beat him? He's unbeatable. A lot of that going on, and then of course they have to find a way to beat him. I will say this, Philip Ung being Sammo Hung or Mr. Big's right-hand man, he does become more and more prominent as the film goes on. Sammo Hung is a villain in this film. He is a secondary villain in this film. However, Philip Ung ends up being the main villain. Rightly so. He is wonderful. If you want to see a character that's truly cartoony, it feels like Philip Ung is having the time of his life. He is. They must have yelled cut, and he must have laughed at himself. He must have walked off that set with a grin. He is having a grand old time. And in terms of action, he is killing it. It's unbelievable. Make him a star, because in this film, it shows that he really is a star. So there's that aspect, the spiritual style, spiritual armor, whatever you want to call it, is a high point of the film for me. It's truly something to behold. Now, that last half an hour that I talked about is a mishmash of everything going on. Basically, most of the high points that you saw in the trailer are actually in the last half an hour of the film. So it's ratio, it's action to drama. But keep this in mind: the drama really, really adds weight to the action. The drama isn't there to bore people, and it's not boring. I defy anyone to go into this film and not love the story, not love the character building. I adored it. I was not bored. I was not upset that I wasn't getting a ton of action. My wife watched the film with me, and she is, if you know my wife, I do a podcast with her. If you know my wife, she loves action films for action. She doesn't like to screw around. She doesn't like to mess around. I shouldn't say that. She's my wife. I don't mean screw around. You know what I mean? She doesn't like to mess around. She wants her action, and she wants lots of it. She is one of those people that love the raid and wants every film to be the raid. She wants to see action, action, action. She walked into this film. She walked out absolutely loving it. She appreciated the character drama, the character building, and how it contributed to the final action sequence, or sequences, I should say. So do not go in fearing this film now you've seen this review. Do not worry, oh no, it hasn't got all the action in it. The action is here. You just have to get through some very interesting story to get to it. That's not a problem. Now, do I feel like this film will disappoint people? Some, yes, because I do think there are still some people, of course, that will never see this review, will watch the trailers, and will go in and be like, well, where is this non-stop action I was expecting? To be honest, I was one of those people. But I was very lucky in that I enjoyed the drama. I think there will be some people that are not looking for that drama, and they will sit down and they will go, what is this shit? I do not appreciate the story. Give me the action. Those people I feel sorry for, because it's a great film. You're missing out. Give it time. Give it your time. Give it your focus, and you're going to have a very, very enjoyable film. Performance-wise, everyone is just giving it their all. Raymond Lamb, who I don't know much about, is wonderful. He's absolutely killing it in this film. Louis Koo is doing some phenomenal work. Even Sammo Hung is really going above and beyond. He makes for a great big boss villain, this top tier gangster. He's wonderful, and he actually has some small comedic moments which really, really add to his performance. There's a little bit of comedy sprinkled throughout. There's a mahjong game in this film which is particularly funny. So yeah, that is Walled In, or Twilight of the Warriors Walled In. It is a delightful film. It is going to please everyone that is willing to give it their time and energy. For those that are not willing to give it their time and energy, they will have loads of fun going to YouTube and revisiting the action sequences in this film. They are that good. Kenji is on top form. He is the man to beat at the moment. I can't even... I don't want to spoil anything, but there are so many moments in this film that are... He even does... I will go as far as to say this, without spoiling anything. Kenji does moves that you've seen before in a number of films, but he does them in a new and fresh and unique way. That's all I'll say on that. But there are, well, I'll say one. Remember the famous German suplex from Flashpoint, where he puts him through the table? There is a German suplex in this film that will make you go, oh, jeez, that must have hurt. There are lots of moments in this film that make you go, oh, God, that must have hurt. That's what this action choreography is all about. Bone crunching stuff. So, yes, when it comes to this film, please, 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 if you don't have the ability to see it in a cinema, wait for it to land on streaming or Blu-ray. But if you can see it in a cinema, I know this is cheesy. I know everyone says this about every single film, and this is the first time I'm going to say it. Go and see it on the biggest screen possible. To see this in a movie theater would be a monumental event. If I can watch it in a theater, I will go out and I will find it and I will watch it in the theater. I am not upset that I've seen it, of course. I'm the luckiest man alive to be able to have seen this film. But if I get the chance to watch it in the theater, you better believe I am rushing out and watching it in the theater. I can only imagine what the action set pieces look like on the biggest screen possible. I'm literally putting my eyes out right now. I'm trying to daydream how they would look. Incredible stuff. And with the crowd, oh my God, with the crowd, guys, you're in store for an absolute treat. This film is landing in UK and Ireland theaters over the next. Is it next week or month? Definitely over the next month. I don't know. I don't have the exact dates. I'm so sorry. I don't have that. And then Wellgo USA have the rights for the I believe the cinema release or the theatrical release here in the US. So it'll be dropping sometime here. I imagine. I can't say when. Hopefully in the next few months. Now that UK and Ireland have it, and I imagine at some point it will end up on their streaming service. Hi-Ya. Again, I would much rather see it in the theater than watch it on Hi-Ya. But if you can't get out to the theater, if you've got a big television, good for you. Do not watch this on your phone. I don't know. I'm being a gatekeeper. I'm not even trying to be a gatekeeper. If you watch stuff on your phone, fair enough. Watch it on your phone. I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm just trying to convey that it's a big film. It's a big, wonderful. What am I trying to say? It's an enormous event. Spectacle. That's the fucking word I'm looking for. This film is a spectacle. So that's why I'm saying see it in the biggest way possible. But hey, I've said enough. It's coming out soon. Get your eyes on it. You will not be disappointed unless you're expecting the raid. But stop. Everyone, here's a tip. Stop expecting the raid from every film. Stop putting that on any film. Even if they say, oh, this film is raid-like. Temper your expectations. That was a one-off film that catered perfectly to the action genre lovers. Very few films can match that. Stop doing that. You're only going to ruin films for yourself by going in and going, oh, hopefully it's like the raid. No. Just take what it gives you. Hopefully, not many of you will be disappointed. I hope you will love this film as much as I do. Would I give it a 5 out of 5? No, I wouldn't quite give it a 5 out of 5. On Letterboxd, I'll be honest with you, I gave it 4 out of 5, but I'm kind of leaning more towards 4.5. I think I'm going to watch it again at some point, hopefully in the theater, and that way I think I will end up giving it 4.5. But right now, as it stands, I give it a 4 out of 5. Fantastic film. Go and get your eyes on it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really, really appreciate you. If you're familiar with the Food for Thought channel, please continue watching us, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. If you're not familiar with us, there's a podcast that I do with my wife and best friend when we review martial arts films. There are also series where there's one called Kung Fu Sations, where oh, my cat's playing with my camera. Wonderful. Sorry, I had minor technical issues there. I do apologize. If you're not familiar with my channel, please like and subscribe. We have a series called Kung Fu Sations, where I interview people from the Kung Fu cinema community, whether it's fans, martial artists, hopefully some directors, actors in the future, all that good stuff. yeah, go ahead and check me out. I have an Instagram page. You can find me on Twitter, all that good stuff. Just search for Food for Thought. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and I will catch you next time.